Welcome, everybody. So, we have an awesome show today. We're going to be talking about high yield savings accounts and Roth IRAs today because a lot of you have asked me about, Anthony, I have so much money. What should I do with it? What about these HSAs I'm keep hearing about? What about Roth IRAs? Well, this episode is going to be for you. So, hopefully, you hold tight, give it 30 seconds to get settled in, and we're going to be rocking and rolling. Welcome, everybody. So, I have the awesome opportunity to bring in an awesome guest that is going to assist me to help you all get better at your finances. Welcome to the stage, everybody. So, here we go. What's going on, Oldie? What up? What up? What up? What up? What
up? Hello. Thank you for having me.
No problem, man. No problem. How's everything?
Everything is cool. Everything is good. Nice weather outside. So, and life is good. I'm in good health. How are you?
Man, I'm tired, honestly. But like you said, I'm leaving. I'm here. And I'm glad to actually bring some energy to the world today, to the world of finance, personal finance. Here we are. So but yeah, so we talking. Well, can you just give the audience a little bit more about yourself, who you are, what you do?
Yeah. So my name is Obiaha Okereke. I go by Obi. I am based in Seattle, Washington, and I work as a tech consultant. And aside from that, I'm also the creator of College Money Habits, which is a platform that seeks to educate young adults and college students about the importance of financial literacy. And while my core focus is on college students and young adults, it extends far beyond that. So I've done partnerships with nonprofits that cater to kind of like middle-aged to even older adults as well. But I mean, the end goal for me is just trying to educate everybody on the importance of smart money habits.
Yeah, now you're speaking my language because financial habits is one of the things that we all kind of struggle with. We all talk about our financial habits. We all think that we have cool financial habits till we met somebody else that has a little bit better, a little bit more knowledge than what we do today. Or whether or not we read a book, we feel like we are not doing as well with our finances. And so that brings up to the topic of today, which is HYSA, pretty much your high yield savings accounts. I mean, we all hear about it, but can you just do a quick deep dive into that? Or
Yeah.
what is it say?
Yeah, with so a HYSA is a high yield savings account, which is, I guess, not to be confused with a regular savings account. The primary difference being that with a regular savings account, you're going to be seeing interest rates of, I mean, probably 1%, maybe less, like 0.01%.
0.01, yeah.
And yeah, not 1%. And many banks will offer those, if not most banks or credit unions. Now, with a high yield savings account, the difference is in the name. It's going to be higher yield. So with a high yield savings account, you could be seeing interest rates anywhere from like really 3 to 5%. And not as many brick and mortar banks offer those. However, there are a lot of online banks that do offer access to high yield savings accounts. And I think one of the common questions I get is like, oh, what's the catch? And so far, I have not found one.
I haven't seen any catches with that. It's like you find them and you'd be surprised on how much money it costs to even just start one. So it's like $5 is the lowest I've seen to even start an HYSA or HYSA.
Yeah, and sometimes it's zero. Some don't even have minimums. Yeah, I don't know about. I'm trying to think about. So I use Ally Bank for my high yield savings account. I don't believe they have a minimum, and currently they actually just raised their interest rate from 4% to 4.25%, which was nice. And when I opened my account, the rate was 0.5. So it's ballooned, and I've seen a significant amount of interest in that particular account.
I'm actually pulling it up right now so I can share with the folks what we're looking at, because I think it's good that we share some of this out here. So yeah, at 4.25%, that's great. And one of the things that I learned when I was younger, growing up, and I think I learned this in middle school, there was a credit union that was nearby. And what they did was partnering with the school, they'll come inside the school and say, like, hey, here are the rates for the day. And what they did was have like this nice printout sheet, and they would show us what the rates are. So they talk about your savings, how your savings, based on how much money you put into the account, this is how much percentage you'll get. And back then, CDs were the thing. Now, to date myself, I think this was around 97, 96 when they were talking about this. Pretty old.
That's the year I was born.
Oh, yeah. All right. Well, we ain't gonna talk about age anymore. So but back then, CDs were the thing. Okay, what are called the certificates of deposit. But since we're talking about high yield savings, and the reason why I kind of like high yield savings, me personally, I like it because it's liquid, and
Right.
you don't have to worry about doing too many things to get to it. Why do you like high yield savings?
Yeah, for me, I mean, well, you mentioned one of them. It's liquid, so you have access to your money, whether you need it for an emergency or to buy a car or to put a down payment on a home. And then the interest rate is the biggest thing. And for me specifically, at least with Ally, I really like the UI, the user interface, and how just everything looks. It's very easy to understand, and I've been able to transfer money in and out seamlessly without any issue. And the biggest kind of issue I found with my regular savings account when I had one was just, I mean, year over year, you're earning maybe a penny worth of interest. And my first month with a high yield savings account, I earned $7. And then last month, I earned, I think it was 260 something dollars. And so it's been a significant leap. Granted, I mean, I contribute money regularly to my savings account, but I'm yet to see a drawback from having one. And especially when you think in the context of college students or early career professionals, it's a great way of setting money aside for future goals, because you're earning that interest, which is then compounding and allowing your savings to grow at I don't want to say rapid rate, but at a quicker rate than they would in some of the alternative ways that you could be storing money.
Yeah, and but also, why did you put it in there in the first place? Was it like just because you get some extra money, or you just saving this money for savings sake? Like, what's the point of you having the money in there?
Yeah. So to have an emergency savings fund, I invest, and with that, I've always liked to have money that's not in investments. So in the event that the stock market were to experience a downturn, which anybody who's been in the market for even like up to 2 years would have seen that. uh, it's so
Okay.
that I don't become stressed out. And in addition to that, I've also had the ambition of purchasing a home, and that's a goal that I've been actively trying to pursue. And so I was putting money into my savings account so that I could set aside money for that goal. And lastly, I'll add that with Ally, one thing that I really like about that platform is that they allow you to create savings buckets. So within your savings account, you can then set up a bucket for like home and then emergency savings and different things like that. And that's allowed me to be very, I guess, diligent, but also have a better understanding of how exactly I'm saving my money, because I can open my account and see, okay, I've saved this amount towards the goal of home ownership. I've saved this amount towards my emergency savings fund, this much towards a new car, and where I'm able to like set goals and then easily track my success towards those. But to answer your question, I put money there to earn more money in interest, and to have a place dedicated just to saving that wasn't my checking account and that wasn't investments.
Yeah, I'm going to try out or take a closer look to Ally as well, because one of the banks that I've been looking into is Marcus Bank.
Okay,
And so
I can
with
look that.
Marcus Bank, yeah, got into this one for only $5 and they do an at 4:30. But because I use, oh no, they logged me out. Okay. I was logged in a little earlier, but when I use my referral code for a short period of time, they actually are increasing my annual percentage yield as each person or each referral sign up. So if it's only $5 just to create an account, you can click the link in the bio or in the description below to go ahead on and open up your account. Now it'll be beneficial to both of us because I get a percentage and you get a percentage at the same time. And they get me up to, I think, up to one whole percentage increase. So you get like, I think it's like 25%, well, 0.25 or 25 basis points for each person that you can refer to. And they'll bring it all the way up.
Yeah, and I have friends, and my girlfriend uses
Wow.
Marcus as well, and I've heard amazing things about that platform. In addition to the what you just mentioned with that bonus for getting people to sign up.
Yeah. Why haven't you signed up if everybody else around you doing it?
I mean, good question. I had Ally prior to when all my friends opened up those, not all of my friends, but when my friends started to open up those accounts, and then before I met my girlfriend. So before I heard about Marcus, and I had read about Ally Bank in an article by Business Insider, and at that time, I think the major ones that I saw were SoFi and then Ally, and so I just ended up with Ally because I had already read like someone saying this works, this is good. I haven't run into any issues, and I don't like opening a bunch of new accounts because I already have a ton, and so
Right.
that's why I haven't switched over or opened another HYSA. What,
Nice.
and you use Marcus, right? That's why you were,
I
yeah.
use them as a just savings. So I only got it to them from the account. But for those of you who are watching right now, I got another guest coming to the stage. Y'all just hold tight right here. Get the intro music for. All right, y'all, get ready because we got an awesome guest coming up to the stage. I'm horrible with these intros, but we're gonna get it in today. All right, so we coming to the stage. We got Deandra. What it do? What it do? What it do? You still on mute though. Deandra, you there?
I am. Hi, how are you doing?
There we go. You're doing good. Doing good. Awesome. If you can just kind of let the audience know a little bit about yourself as we going through these HYSAs or high yield savings accounts.
Oh, wow. You like these loaded questions tonight, I see. A little bit about me. I am a certified public accountant of over 20 years. Um, I strongly believe in creating passive income as a way to time freedom and financial freedom. So I invest in real estate, but also in definite different streams of income to sustain. Um, what else? I am well versed in accounting, audit, a whole lot of things actually. I work heavy as an international liaison between America and South Africa, Tanzania, Philippines, and Central and South America. And wow, I'm a wife and a mother of four.
Wow.
And yeah, just real cool all around. I also I'm a professional tax preparer as well. So whole lot of hats, but I do my best to keep them balanced.
Nice. All right, so we got Kamari in the chat. If you guys don't know about this guy, the financial rebel, make sure you guys go out there and follow him. It's doing a lot for the financial community. Always spitting some game out. So I gotta give this guy some horns because he always putting in some game, putting in some work. So, but he did ask you, Deandra, if you could put on your camera. I'm not telling you to. I mean, it's just a request from the audience.
Okay, so if I put on this camera, I will be in the pitch dark and you still won't be able to see me. So, but you know what I am going to do? I do have to step away. So I'm going to leave and come back again if that's okay.
That's all right.
All right.
Go
Bye. Maybe I'll look better when I come back.
Okay.
Bye, y'all.
Yeah. So one of the things is that I wanted to bring up was because I read this book. So Get Good with Money with Tiffany Aliche. If you guys don't know who she is, you can look her up on Netflix. You can even Google her if you want to. But in this book, she does talk about the savings accounts, and she has her 4 top things to choose the best online savings account, which is number one, an A grade in your Get Good with Money toolkit. Number 2, make sure it's FDIC insured. Number 3, the highest interest rate offered. And number 4, the lowest deposit required to open an account and to earn the interest rate advertised. So that's very important.
Agreed.
Because, yeah. But we just talked about it. Low entry, which is like $5 to $0, just to even start the account. Is FDIC insured for both banks we just mentioned, and they both online as well.
Yep.
So they both don't have physical accounts. So you guys are hearing it from us that this thing is doable. We're doing it. So, either if you trust us or not, you can do your research. But again, we are here to give you financial education. This is not financial advice. Please go ahead and consult. This is my disclaimer. Go ahead on and consult your financial advisor for that.
Yeah, and if I may, just to add to what you mentioned about them being online platforms, I know that some people are concerned with online only as far as institutions when it comes to finance and putting your money in a place where there isn't a physical individual that you can go talk to, or a physical location that you can walk into to ask somebody questions. And I highly encourage anyone, whether you're considering and opening a brokerage account or a savings account or whatever it is, to read reviews. That was something I spent hours doing before I opened a high yield savings account, because there was even one that I was in the middle of opening, and then I ran into so many reviews that were so negative that I said, okay, maybe this isn't the best bet for me. And so just making sure that you're using whatever resources are available to you. I know that I'm forgetting it now. There's NerdWallet. NerdWallet publishes a lot of articles on HYSA accounts, whether you're a college student or just a normal individual. They have tons of articles that I believe they publish monthly on the best HYSAs for that particular month. And so I highly recommend checking that out. And then, of course, doing your own independent research and drawing your own conclusions.
Yep. Now, because one of the things is that, we all hear about these accounts, and is it really worth it? And it goes back to, what are you actually saving these accounts for? The reason why we always say I guess I would say I suggest as educational purposes is to think about putting your emergency fund inside a high yield savings account. For one, it's long term. It's like midterm, I would say.
Yeah.
Investment to yourself is that you're saving for a reason. Like Obi was saying, is that he's saving for a house. Me personally, I was just saving as in case I ever need as my emergency fund too. Yeah. So just put $200. I was doing $200 every once a month. And I did that for a whole year, and then I stopped. I just let it sit and ride to see what happens. So with my $2,000, I'm already getting returns of about, I think it's like $20 or something like that a month, and I'm not doing anything, which is great because it's a little extra money in my pocket. It's like a raise to myself.
Passive income.
Hey, there you go. Work once, continue to get the money. So, so we talked about, the interest rates. We talked about how ease of use. We talked about everything like that. But what causes these rates to go up? Why are they considered high yield? Like, how do they determine what rates to give you? Do you know?
Yeah, I mean, I might defer that question back back to you, but I think that everyone is, whether it's inadvertently or in another way, aware of the fact that things have become more expensive. And inflation is something that occurs on an annual basis. I think historically it's typically 3%. More recently, the increase in the cost of goods, I think, has been more significant. But, and don't quote me on that, but
I'm looking it up right now.
yeah, okay. But as the Fed raises interest rates, one of the few ways that individuals can take advantage of increases in interest rates is to open a high yield savings account. And there are other alternatives as well, because there's, like money markets and then CDs, which you mentioned previously, that all more recently have been offering much higher rates than what they've been doing in the past couple of years. And those are all various means as well that people can store or invest their money. But I think I mentioned previously that when I opened my high yield savings account, the interest rate was 0.5, and that's because rates collectively were not as high, but rates have continuously increased, and as a result, the rates offered by banks, because they're lending out the money that you give them, they are able to offer you higher rates as well. And so that's why you've seen this increase as far as the rates offered by these high yields savings accounts, which is why regular savings accounts, I mean, I don't know if it's a controversial opinion. I believe that they're useless because
You need to go back into that. What?
Well, no, I think not necessarily like that they're completely useless and irrelevant, but that when you compare it to the rates that you can receive in a high yield savings account, why not just have a high yield savings account? And I guess I wasn't meaning to ignite a debate, but I mean, if I can get a rate of, I mean, even if it's 3% versus 0.01 or 0.04.
Yeah. Well, the reason why I am back and forth on that right now is because a lot of the times especially when you're looking for a house, they want to make sure that you got to look to a bank that you're comfortable with and so forth. Now, my thing is, I'm not sure if Ally even offer mortgages. Do they offer mortgages?
I believe that they do. I know that they help with auto, and then they do help with home loans as well. Yes.
Okay. So, okay, I see it. Personal loans. I'm gonna share this tab.
And I'm not a spokesperson for Ally Bank or necessarily recommending people open accounts with Ally. I think it's one of many options that people have.
So I was just going to say here, as far as mortgage rates. Now, obviously, we talking about the rates and everything like that. So right now, the rates seem to be comfortable and comparative to the rates that are out there right now. So you're looking at like the 30-year fix, which is at 7.35%, and which is pretty good. Now, the reason why we were talking about, I was bringing up the credit unions, is because credit unions or smaller banks tend to give out or favor mortgages than any of the bigger banks. So, most people in the financial space will say, well, make sure you go ahead on with a credit union, or instead of dealing with the bigger banks like Bank of America, where you just become a little teeny, you're not seen as big or as important with your one house that's out there. Okay, Kamari, you also say here the Fed Treasury are get right now also. I think you probably mean are high right now. Can you explain that a little bit more, Kamari? But because I was also looking at some of the inflation rates here that's on Yahoo Finance, where they're talking about the CPI. So you're actually right about that 3% increase. So yeah, even on your guess, you're good.
And also, to address the comment you made about Bank of America, what exactly, I suppose, do you mean with what you said?
Okay, so with Bank of America, because they're such a big bank, they usually sell off their mortgages to another bank. So they mostly do like the underwriting, so forth for you, and then sell it off to another bank that will handle your mortgage. The reason why I know that is because I recently purchased my property, not through Bank of America, but through another brokerage. And then they immediately, soon as I closed, they immediately sold it to another brokerage firm that handles housing. And all they did was do the underwriting. I did not know that until after they sold my mortgage. And I was like, I did all this work to make sure it was good and compliant. And then y'all immediately sold it. So now I got to get this relationship up with another bank. It was frustrating, but they upheld the percentage rates and everything like that they agreed upon, which is cool. So now I just got to I can still deal with my broker, and he's the middle person between the two banks at this point. So, yeah. And I was complaining to him. I was like, dude, I just got this. What's the deal? So, but apparently a lot of people do it all the time, but the smaller banks will actually tend to hold on to your mortgage. So if you're looking for stability, I would say is stick with local, just from experience. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, I think it may also depend on the. I think I don't know if I want to generalize the big banks, and I don't know. I think that whether it's Bank of America or what's another bank, Chase, that when it comes to receiving a home loan, that I think how that interaction occurs may depend on the individual, and then the relationship, of course, with that bank as well. So yeah, I don't know. I myself have not secured a home loan, so I can't speak to that process. I can't speak to the practices of any one bank or credit union. I do know that credit unions have specific advantages, especially for certain individuals in certain economic positions. So there's that as well.
Okay. Well, I know your title and time, because I want to make sure I respect your time as well. So
yeah, and I can go a little bit longer than
a little longer.
Yeah, if you
So
need
just
me.
All right. We're going to talk about what Kamari says on it. What you got today, Kamari? So Kamari says people can buy treasury bonds that are yielding 4% to 5.5%, and you can buy them from your brokerage account.
Mhm.
So for those of you who don't have a brokerage account, did I leave? I can put a link in the show notes to my brokerage account. Remember, it's just one of many. To me, I personally like TD Ameritrade. So that's the bank that I love to do most of my banking with, especially when it comes to the investment side of the house. Do you have a different investment brokerage that you deal with?
I deal with a few. So I have Fidelity, and then I also have Wells Fargo, which I know is a controversial bank. That's where
I'm not gonna go into history with it.
that's where I started
Okay.
when I was 18. So Wells Fargo, and then Fidelity, and then Robinhood as well. But I have heard amazing things about TD Ameritrade, and then Charles Schwab, as well as Merrill Edge by Merrill Lynch and Bank of America.
So there you go, folks. You got so many different options to play around with. But they call them like T-bonds. So if you ever hear people talk about T-bonds, treasury bonds, I don't know too many things about them, but I do know somebody that does, and they talk about it all the time on their YouTube channel. And I'll see if she's willing to come on the show to actually talk about that. And she's local, actually, which is pretty cool. So, hey, Dr. Green, what's going on? I didn't know you're in the audience. So, you guys, if you are ever going through like depression, or you have you just need somebody to talk to, Dr. Green is always, she's just a phone call away, and will help you out with that. Obviously, she has her own terms and conditions on how she accepts her clients, but yeah, There you go, Dr. Green. Give you a little shout out. So yeah, so we talked about that. I know we got a little bit of time, but I want to start diving into Roth IRAs. Have you invested in Roth at all?
Yes, I have one.
Okay. Can you give a quick spill about the Roth and how people can start diving into that?
Yeah, so a Roth IRA is a retirement account. I believe it's Roth investment retirement account, the IRA part. And they are available to individuals who have income. So if you receive a W-2, then you can open up a Roth. And how you don't technically like invest in a Roth, you invest through a Roth or a Roth IRA, where that account is something where you can put post-tax income. And so like for instance, I receive a paycheck, and with that money, I can then put it in my checking account and then transfer it into my Roth IRA. And then through my Roth IRA, I can then purchase securities such as Microsoft, Apple, or invest in index funds, mutual funds, ETFs, bonds, any number of things. And then the primary advantage with a Roth IRA being that your earnings from investments held in that account are tax-free. Granted, they're tax-free if you've had the account for 5 years. And if you have had the account, correct me if I'm wrong, till 59 and a half, I believe, is when you can begin to take non-penalized with withdrawals. And
Yep,
that is
9.5, yep.
and that's different than a traditional 401k, where that is another retirement account, which is tax deferred as opposed to tax exempt, which is what you'll experience with the Roth IRA.
Okay. So why would somebody go with the Roth instead of this traditional?
That I kind of know the answer, but I think I might kick that back to you.
Okay.
I believe it. I mean, part of it lies within what I mentioned before, as far as like the tax exemption versus tax deferred, and I'd have to like read up on it, but I believe if you believe that your income is going to be greater in the future than it is right now, one of those options makes more sense than the other. I can't say which one, because it's escaping me. It's escaping me right now, but there are particular advantages to each option. So yeah, but I mean, I'll kick that question, actually, your question back to you, as far as who does it make sense for?
Yeah, for me personally, when I was just starting off, when it comes to your income and you feel like that you're taking away too much, you feel like you're paying too much in taxes, and you just want to lower that amount of money that you're paying in taxes. And that's why I always say, like, the traditional, as a W-2 worker, that's truly your only tax advantage, is through your traditional IRA. And then if you're doing 100% in your Roth, you're not giving yourself any type of tax advantage during that time frame. And Kamari is actually a tax expert. He is a registered agent. So,
okay.
I mean,
I thought you were talking about traditional 401k, not traditional IRA.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I'm sorry.
All right, so yeah, everything I said was applicable to that, not Roth IRA versus traditional.
Okay, I'm sorry. IRA. Yeah, that's right, because you can invest in your traditional IRA outside of your worker process, outside your job, instead of your worker. My mind is crazy. All right. So Kamari says here, Roth grows tax free, and you can pull the money out tax free. Yep. All right. And then he says the traditional IRA money grows tax free, but you must pay taxes during the withdrawal. And he said there are some stipulations. Yes. So Kamari, I don't know why you keep just typing. Do you just join up on the chat? But anyway, because one of the things that a lot of people are asking me about it, and I'm gonna just show up here. Just got okay. We need like 5 minutes over, but I just wanted to kind of get that information out there for those of you who are wondering about the Roth. And now going straight to the source. So I don't saying like this is from me, But right here, a Roth IRA is an IRA that, except as explained below, is a subject to the rules that apply to the traditional IRA. So this is what Kamari was talking about, the stipulations. You cannot deduct contributions to your Roth IRA. It is set if you satisfy the requirements of qualified distributions are tax free. Now, qualified distributions, I think this comes up later. You can make contributions to your Roth IRA up until you reach age of 71 and a half. 70 and a half, you can leave amounts in your Roth IRA as long as you live. The account or annuity must be designed as a Roth IRA when it is set up. And most of the time they already set up that way as well. I think you can make those changes. But when it comes to the contribution limits, those change every year. So for those of you who are just hearing about it, oh yeah, they said it was 6,000 last year. Now it's up to 6,500. So it changed every year. So just go to irs.gov and you can actually see what it is. So like I said, for the year 2023, as this is recorded, is 6,500. Mm-hmm. For those of you who are 50 years old and older, it's $7,500. Just so you can have that option available.
So I believe those are referred to as like catch-up contributions for age 50 and above.
That's what I'm talking about. Man, this guy is on it. Man. All right. So, you talk about college money habits. I want to get into your story before you roll out of here. Just tell everybody a little bit more about your college money habits, what you actually teach the college students.
Yes. So I started my platform, College Money Habits, in May of 2020, or at least that's when I launched it. And the intent behind it was I started investing in the stock market when I was a senior in high school. And then throughout college, I was kind of like telling my friends like, oh, you should probably do this because I've experienced some success with it. And an aspect of it is fun. And obviously there's tons of other advantages. And then I started to receive a lot of questions about investing, not just from friends, but from family members as well, and just other people. And then that also included questions about budgeting and things like that, because I was always someone who was very particular about money. And I wanted to create a space where everyone could get their questions answered, because I was like, I can't clone myself to answer all these questions. So what can I do? And initially I wanted to create courses where people could just take those courses and learn about various topics. But that is a very large effort. And so I ended up creating a website, and then from there, Instagram, and then YouTube, and then most recently my podcast. But a big focus of mine is on storytelling and trying to be as transparent as possible about mistakes that I've made in my personal life, successes I've had in my personal life, and really emphasizing the importance of habits over everything. Because, and I mean, you may disagree, somebody in the audience may disagree, but I believe that habits are more important than knowledge. I do think that they go hand in hand, but you could have all the knowledge in the world about investing or Roth IRAs or high yield savings accounts. But if you don't combine that with action of opening the account, and then with the example of a savings account, automating your savings or doing all these various things, learning how to delay gratification and ultimately changing your habits, it's going to be very hard for you to see truly positive outcomes moving forward. And so that's like college money habits. That's where the habits portion comes in, where in my personal life, the success I've achieved has been a result of habits. And so that's why I try to emphasize it as much as possible through my platform.
Awesome. Well, Obi, it was a pleasure having you on. Seemed like Kamari is already beating you to getting some grub. So, hopefully we'll definitely have you on the show again. We can love to have you back on if you're willing.
Of course.
Maybe like a one-on-one, or we can do another live show. It's up to you. Platforms open, sir.
Yeah, no, I mean, thanks for having me, Anthony. It was a pleasure. I've never done anything like this, and then the live aspect is kind of nerve wracking, to be honest.
Because you can't edit. I mean, there's no
Yeah.
edit.
So I mean, much more on the spot, but it's
Yeah.
good. And yeah, no, I had a lot of fun. This is I like this format, and you're a
Awesome.
good host. So I mean, thanks for having me. Very happy to join any other time, or to have you on my podcast as
Hey,
well.
there you go. Let's make it happen.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's get you some outro music here while you roll up out, and I'll throw on a commercial so we can get some the drink session going.
All right.
Everybody, y'all wave to Obi. Thank you for being on the show, sir.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
All right. Peace. All right, everybody. So we're back on the show. All right. So we just talked about HYSAs. We talked about some Roth IRAs, just a little bit, but I want to make sure I do a deeper dive into the Roth IRAs. But in the meantime, make sure y'all know what time it is, because I got my drink. Do you have your drink? See you guys in about 30 seconds as we get our drink on. All right, you guys. So, what are you guys drinking out there today? Because I got this is called the Winking Owl. The Winking Owl. The Winking Owl White Zinfandel. You can pick this up at your local Aldi store for $3.99. Actually, I think it's about like $5.99. All right, so what y'all guys say? What y'all guys say? We had talk about HYSAs. Do you guys say something that you would start today? Is that something you guys been looking into? Let me know your thoughts. Is that something that you want to start today? And for those of you who are listening to the recording, hopefully you guys are jamming out in the car right now, or even in your own studio, no matter where you listen at. Remember, so you be like, Anthony, why are we drinking? Well, we're drinking to our success today, okay? We are drinking towards our ability to change our habits. We are drinking today for our better savings in the future. We are drinking to our older selves. Man, I wish I could be like get the oops, I don't want to start again. All right. So hey, there you go, Dr. Green, making some changes. That's what I like to hear. Man, where's my horns at? That's right. Because this is the reason why I put the show on. It's for you guys. I want you guys to be successful. I want you guys to be able to do the things that you want to do so that you can be amazing at everything. Excuse me. So that if that includes me bringing on guests to make sure that you get the information that you need, I will do that. That's my goal. And my purpose, again, for this show is to share the information. Information is priceless. So that means if you don't get anything from the show, this particular episode, then look for another episode. on anything that you need to know, because some of the topics, even though I say in the show notes on what it is, I try my best to put them in the title. But sometimes I have guests that come through and they just talk about whatever. And because they're coming on, we get to bring on some amazing talent, some amazing information in the financial community, and actually get to see people doing this day in and day out. So, if you guys ready for me to go a deeper dive into the Roth IRAs, type in Roth IRA in the chat as I take another sip of this drink, because this is this white is $11. It's amazing. It has this nice buttery flavor. Not like butter, but like it does something. It's so good. All right. So we got one Roth. We got two Roth. Oh, we got a Don Johnson. Hey, let's go now, Don Johnson. So gotta make sure you get the horns in for all the people that are leaving some comments, because some of you guys are just watching. But hey, leaving the comments is always amazing. So let's put some lo-fi music on here while we do a deep dive into these IRAs. I don't really like that. Let me go with the other one. I really enjoy it. Yeah, there we go. Let me know if I can hear that. All right. So we got a couple Roth people out there. Let's see what we got going on. All right. So because Roth just has a historical sense of the Roth, I want to bring up something that we can all look at. Where did it go? Okay. So I pulled this up directly from Vanguard. And, you know, hey, I'm learning like you all, but also invest in my Roth through my employer. So they say right here, a Roth offers tax-free withdrawals. Thank you, Kamari, for sharing that information earlier. With a Roth IRA, you get the future bonus. Every penny you withdraw in retirement stays in your pocket and not Uncle Sam's. Now, we had this huge discussion, I think maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago. Kamari, myself, we had Aquania, and I got the other guy's name, isn't it? But we were all talking about when it comes to life insurance. Now, understanding like everything is being taxed. So either way, Uncle Sam is getting their money. Now, what they're saying is with the Roth IRA is that you're taxed automatically, straight out the back. Like, hey, you already got the money hit your savings account, and then it goes directly to the Roth IRA. Now, a Roth IRA is an individual retirement account that offers tax-free growth and tax-free withdrawals in retirement. The Roth IRA rules dictate as long as you've owned the account for 5 years. Okay, and that's what Obi was talking about, the 5 years. And your age is 59 and a half or older, you can withdraw your money when you want to, and you won't have to owe federal taxes. Okay. Now, why they come out with that 5-year thing? I don't know. But here goes some other advantages directly from Vanguard. You have no RDMs. So RDM stands for required minimum distributions. So usually required minimum distributions happen annually. And we can actually click on this and see what they said to say about it. So they say under the tax law, most owners of IRAs, except Roth IRAs, must withdraw part of their tax-deferred savings each year, starting at age 72 or 70 and a half if you obtain the age 70 and a half before 2020. If you withdraw less than your RDM, meaning your RMD, you may owe a 50% penalty tax on the difference. RMDs are intended to ensure that the assets in these types of accounts are eventually subject to taxation. However, they don't put this in here, but if you inherited your account, more than likely you will have an RMD, but they don't mention that on here. So, yeah, keep that in mind too. No age limit. You can put money in your account as far as many years as you want, as long as you've earned the income that qualifies. Okay. Now, because you understand that that's what qualifies, you can just get it whenever. Another one is that no employer plan restrictions. It doesn't matter if you're covered by your employer's retirement plan, such as a 401k, 403b, or a 403b. As long as you don't exceed the IRS's income limits, you can still contribute the maximum annual amount of your Roth IRA. And as I mentioned earlier, directly from IRS.gov, for the 2023 tax year, at the time of this recording, is $6,500 or $7,500 if you're age 50 and older. Now that's for the catch-up. They do allow you a catch-up, not the one that's made out of tomatoes. I cracked myself up. Where's my little rim shot? Because, gotta give myself a little boost. All right. At least somebody likes it. So then also they say no taxes for your beneficiaries. This is amazing. Okay. So, most of the time not most of the time, if you have a Roth IRA or any type of tax vehicle, you have some type of savings and so forth, and you leave that with your heirs or whoever you decide to take on that money, they usually tax them. And because of that, they say right here, you can pass your Roth IRA onto your beneficiaries and their withdrawals will be tax-free. And they put 3 stars on here. I need to learn a little bit more about this. Because for those of you who have children or planning to have children, or even just planning on giving it out to a, what they call them people, and another person, this is a great opportunity. Are you talking about generational wealth? This is one of the vehicles that you can utilize for your for those people. So inheriting the Vanguard account, you know that it's hard when you lose someone. It's a difficult time, but know that we're here to make the transfer as seamless as possible. So because that, they actually talk about the process of the transfer, after the transfer, and all this stuff. So it's just pretty much that they have this option available, which is great that your broker has this option to transfer your IRA or your Roth IRA so that, they can win too. So at this point, for those of you who have a Roth IRA and just wondering well, what the heck do I do with it? Make sure that your beneficiaries are updated. Also, if you are married, you want to make sure that's updated too. Because I heard a lot of stories where the benefits of their retirement account of the person that's deceased skip the whole family tree. The current wife, the kids, all because the money was set up to go to the ex because they never went back to do the paperwork. So if you're planning to get married or looking to get married, or you already married and within the first year or so, go ahead on and make that process change. If you're not planning to get married and you have nieces and nephews that you want them to even have a portion, because you can set up the percentages that you want to give your beneficiaries, you can do so. So with that being said, I know we talked about a little bit about the Roth IRA And this is strictly from Vanguard. Okay. All of this information that they're pulling from, they're not making it out. They're not pulling it out their rear end. They're getting this information directly from the IRS. They just made it look pretty. Okay. So the IRS, I showed you guys the IRS website. It's not, look at this. Like, you can sit here and read all the information. It's just straight black and white, no pictures. Vanguard has like a dog and people tossing things, and they got a wallet with some money in it. You know what I'm saying? Your income, okay, for the Roth IRA. You know what I'm saying? Like, they made it look pretty, easy to read. And that's where most of the money is. Anybody can go out here and do the same thing. So if they try to say like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about, just point them directly to the IRS.gov website. All right. And yes, so this is one question that I want to bring up, because you hear about this a lot. Can I contribute to an IRA if I participate in a retirement plan at work? And for those of you who are watching, the reason why I'm reading it is for the people that are on the audio that's going to get this as an audio podcast tomorrow and at the time of this recording. So they're going to get it for Friday. Now, you say like, hey, I already have an IRA with my work. Why do I need to go through and do it this way? So they say you can contribute to a traditional or Roth IRA, even if you participate in another retirement plan through your employer or business. However, this is a big however, you may not be able to deduct all of your traditional IRA contributions if you or your spouse participates in another retirement plan at work. Both mean your Roth IRA contributions might be limited if your income exceeds a certain level. They throw up a couple of examples. I'm going to just read these 3 examples, and I think we should be good for the day, okay? So they said the first example, Donnie, an unmarried college student, earned, really, that's it? $3,500 in 2020. Danny contribute all $3,500, the amount of his compensation, to his Roth IRA for 2020. Danny's granddaughter, he got a child too. But he's unmarried, but he still got a kid. Okay, that's fine. So Danny's grandmother, Danny's grandmother can make the contributions on his behalf. All right. So what they're talking about here with the grandmother stepping in, it's almost like a gift tax. So you can actually get up, I think so. Kamari, correct me if I'm wrong. I believe it's like $10,000 as a gift tax per relative. So if you have $10,000 laying around and you just want to give it to somebody, you can do that as a gift tax, and it'll be a write-off for your taxes, or it'll be a deduction. I'm sorry. Second one, they say John, age 42, has a traditional IRA and a Roth IRA. He can contribute up to $6,000 to either one or both for 2020. So that means that if you're thinking about you want to do Roth or you want to do traditional, keep in mind you can do both. Okay. Do not feel like you're stuck just doing one or the other. Do both. It's your money. Okay. Now some of the strategies, I'm gonna just kind of move this to the side. Now, some of the strategies that I've seen a lot of people do, which is they'll do their best to max out the max contributions of their Roth for the year. They try to do that as fast as possible. So it's usually like $6,500 for this year, 2023, right? Then once they hit that mark, they'll stop contributing to their Roth IRA and then contribute the rest of the year to their traditional IRA. All right. Now, your banks more than likely will, your employer will more than likely match your contributions. And once they match your contributions, you can do whatever. Okay. So if you guys aren't familiar with I highly recommend talking to your financial advisor at your job or even the HR department, because they will have all of that taken care of for you. Okay. So let's see, Dawn, What you got on here? You said you're 17K single, 34K married. All right. So talking about 17K. What are you talking about? Not for the Roth, hopefully. I think you might be talking about traditional. I believe the traditional, what is the traditional IRA contributions? Let me find the traditional IRA contribution so we can, give you all the information you need. Traditional IRA contributions. All right. They usually put in like a nice format. They usually give you a table. I have to find it. What is it? Should be right here though. Let's see. You do 401k contributions. Come on. Usually I'm a little fast at searching for these. It's a little easier. Just kind of do a search. Okay. Contributions. 23. There we go. All right. So the traditional, so it's actually up a little higher, Don. The gift tax. Thank you, sir. All right. Okay. So forgive me. All right. So for the year, at least if you want to know, for those of you who are listening, the max that you can do for this year is $22,500 for your 401k contributions. Okay. And then for your gift tax limit for 2023 is $17,000. Thank you. Don, I got the info. We in there. Just took me a while to get there. Okay. So this is like who pays gift tax, what is considered a gift. Yeah, I might have to have Kamari on here to kind of do a deeper dive into this, because when it comes to taxes and so forth, I'm still new to this, but some people get paid to do this all the time. So I always try to lean in on the experts. Okay. And again, this is for entertainment purposes only. So don't try to sue me. All right. Yeah. And then may I deduct gifts on my income tax return? Making a gift or leaving your estate to your heirs do not ordinarily affect your federal income tax. You cannot deduct the value of your gifts you make other than gifts that are deducted charitable contributions. If you are not sure whether the gift tax or the estate tax applies to your situation, they say refer to publication 559, survivors, executors, and administrators. So, like I said, all this stuff is here. And so for those of you who didn't do your taxes in the past couple of years, they have the table right here on their website, the IRS.gov website. So they say the annual exclusion applies to gifts to each donee. In other words, if you give each of your children $17,000 in 2023, the annual exclusion applies to each gift. Okay. So if you got 5 kids, you can give each of them 5 kids $17,000. All right. The table shows below the annual exclusion amount applicable for each year gift. So if you're like 2011 to 2012, it was 13. 2013 through 2017 was 14,000. 2018 to 2021, 15,000. 2022 was 16,000. 2023 is 17,000. So if you're looking to save some dollars and you don't pay the taxes on that money you just earned that year, shoot, Just give these kids $17,000. Hey, it's a win-win. And just tell, I guess, if you got whoever your tax preparer, your CPA tax preparer, not all CPAs are created equal. So make sure your CPA is a tax professional. To make sure that you're getting all the stuff that you need. Thanks a lot, Don, for the work and the support. I greatly appreciate you coming through. So is there anything else y'all want to talk about, Roth? Because if not, I think this is going to be it for me. Even though I got to finish up my wine here. Usually the show isn't over with till I finish my drink. I'm not sure where Deandra went, but it's my shoe. All right. Nothing heard. Nothing in the chat. Other way, again, everybody, if you got anything from this particular episode and you thought it would be great for somebody else to watch it, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. And trust me, I did not know this, but I found this out recently that as you guys put thumbs up and leave comments in the chat and everything, it helps out the algorithm. So when you guys do that, I actually can see how far my reach is when you guys actually do a thumbs up, leave a comment in the show notes. Now I'm starting to understand the importance of why people keep asking. So if you guys got anything out of this and you just want to make sure you continue to share this information out and make sure this show grows to reach other people, then go ahead on and leave a comment in the actual comment section. For those of you who are listening on this replay, obviously the live chat folks, I greatly appreciate you coming through. And for those of you who are listening on the audio side of the house, thank you so much. I greatly appreciate you. And for that, everybody, y'all have a good night. Peace. And now I need to get my outro. Bear with me. All right, there we go.